Hey, how's it going, everyone? We're about to start. We're just gonna jump right in. See, I have up the chat log on the screen. Gonna give you guys anyone a chance to chime in or say something, or you know, if anybody wants to, wants to talk, share some info about this themselves. Yeah. So we're almost ready to go here. So this is Nick again, and this is Heavenlyform, and we're about to head in. Nick for Heavenlyform. We're about to head in here, and we're gonna do some game maintenance. So right now, the game is working on an old game engine called the Blender called Blender 2.49B, and it's a very old game engine for Blender, right? And what happened is that we're actually using that for me, the guy who designs all the levels and characters and stuff like that. We're using that to so that I could like place the levels in there and make sure the levels are working, artistically and game wise and story wise and all that. And but my brother, on the other hand, my brother, he's a programmer and he's part of our team, and his name is Peter, and he's actually upgrading it to the newest version of the Blender game engine, which has a different name. So the new name of the new Blender game engine, it's called UpBGE. So you know what? Let's do it, instead of me sitting down and just doing a whole bunch of just doing a whole bunch of artwork and modeling. You have like tons of video. If you look at the previous videos we did, you can see like how I work and stuff like that. Although I gotta like continue working on the levels, I think I want to change up the pace a little bit, do some maintenance. I have to maintain. I'm trying to do a little bit of an upgrade to the old engine that we have there. I just learned how to do like a pause menu, and I'm gonna put that into practice, and you guys could probably see me do it and add it to the actual early access demo that's out there. But in the meantime, I want to talk about UpBGE. I think the guys, the same guys who worked on the Blender game engine, they're doing UpBGE, and with UpBGE, they're actually they're making an updated version of the old Blender game engine, so they just renamed it, called Up Blender game engine or whatever it is. I think Up has like the UP for UpBGE has a specific words associated with it. I don't know it off the top of my head, but what we could do, we could actually just jump in and take a look at what these guys are doing. I'm going to share my screen here real quickly, and yeah, let's start to take a look at it. So, and normally I have that countdown that runs, but just gonna skip that for now. Alright, so we're gonna take a look at what we're trying to upgrade from, and what we're upgrading from is really old, but we're gonna show like what we're upgrading to. So I think that's a better show. So without further ado, let's just jump straight to it. So this, what you're seeing here, is the game engine that we want to upgrade to. Alright, it's called UpBGE. It's the newest version of the Blender game engine. It's just like a new version of the Blender game engine with EV rendering tied in there, and all Blender's modeling and texturing tools and all that, everything. There's even a guy making another game here that they're showcasing a game called Swords of Symphony, I'm guessing. That's pretty cool. So like apparently you could do a lot of like really great things with UpBGE right here. Look at this one right here. It looks pretty cool. Alright, and they have different they have something called logic nodes right here. We tried using this, but for some reason we looked at to see if there's any documentation on this, and we didn't see any. I think the documentation side of their nodes are still working on it. I'm not sure, I could be wrong. Yeah, so Blender is pretty cool. So if you don't know what Blender is a 3D application that you could download for free, where you could like model, animate, even do video editing. And Blender is very special because you could like do full 3D and 2D production in it. And a lot of other software doesn't come out of the box like that. I've My first entry into 3D was actually using a bunch of different things, right? So I went from Bryce to Infinity on the Mac, and I really got serious when I touched 3D Studio Max and really started doing work for a television station using Autodesk 3D Studio Max. At the time, it was just discrete 3D Studio Max, and and even up to last year, I've been working in Max, and I've worked, in 3D Studio Max throughout all the years. And on the side, I've been, looking at Blender since before 2.49. And I learned in 2.49, I really got a good grasp of how to use Blender. When they changed the interface, I was like, man, is this really that good? And when they changed the interface and they changed different things, and they upgraded Blender to be quote unquote more user friendly, it actually looked pretty good. So I was like, you know what? It's, more power to them, man. Like, they make Blender more accessible and it's easier to use, and it's way better than the old version that we currently have the game demo in. So if you look up Blender, if you just do a little search for Blender, right, you get of course like an actual Blender, but we're actually, if you do Blender 3D, you'll narrow it down. Yeah, so this is Blender. Oh, introducing 3.1. Like, I did not know that. So they just released 3.1. So should I download that? I'll probably download it after the stream. This is looking pretty fancy, right? Look at that. Look at the stuff, people they have things like geometry nodes where you could do kind of procedural modeling and animation in there. And, I know they have everything procedural and all that sort of stuff. And they have sculpting, and they have, they had textures and, override workshop, wow, and effects, and all done through like, all these great guys like Pablo and even Ian, this guy called, I forgot his last name, but he made, he's really phenomenal at making really cool, effects using Blender, and really quickly too, and he's really good at explaining it. I think he has like a 1 minute or 3 minute like explanation videos that he does of just showing you how to do different effects in Blender, and it's pretty cool. And I've been using Blender to do visual effects and modeling and all that for years, but this guy's really good at summing all that up in really quick videos. So yeah, let's go through. So Blender has like so many good benefits. Everything is integrated. There's cycles render engine, which gives you like really nice quality rendering, and you could do like high level visual effects in there. There's like a tracker in there. You could track moving objects or environments and then add CG in there. There's even a compositor in Blender. There's even like there's like a 2D. You could do 2D animation if you like anime or animation in general. You could do that in there. And and they have really great drawing tools. If you're just like 3D animation, you can do that. So it's really a creative suite of tools. And there's even a video editor, right? I mean, I've used the Blender video editor to pull me out of a lot of jams. I actually do video editing also. I use Adobe Premiere and a bunch of other things like that, right? I use DaVinci and a bunch of other like node compositing software like Nuke. There's another free one that I use called Natron, which is really awesome. And there's so much free tools out there that you could really think of a cool project if you're an artist to do, and find a free tool to get you started. And if you want to pay for plugins from the community, from these guys, and if you want to pay for I've bought plugins, if you looked at the videos that we've done before, I bought plugins to actually help aid in the modeling of the levels for Sol 3000, right? So and it just makes it faster. I could do it without the plugins, But because I'm just one guy, I kind of want to go fast, and I see that, okay, I know how to do it manually without plugins, but I give myself that little bit of an edge so I could go a little bit quicker and just focus on other things, right? Things that need more artistic attention than laying out UVs. But it's important to know how to lay UVs out by hand. How do I say that? Laying out UVs and other like shading and geometry modeling tools like box cutter, and there's so much plugins you add to Blender. So coming from 3D Studio Max is really good when you add plugins to it, and you could do a lot of stuff by Max default by itself, but so yeah. And then they talk about latest news, and stuff like that, so coming back to the game development side of it, so this is a content creation, and Blender used to have the game engine tied together, and everybody's hoping one day they'll bring it back in, but for now, I mean, the UpBG guys are really rocking it. I mean, the stuff looks great, right? So so let's continue with that. So let's see, UpBG current manual. Right, so what I was actually looking for is their you see their logic nodes. So if you click on logic nodes, categories, logic nodes, introduction, and they have introduction here. Logic node needs is an add-on, right? Okay, so this is what UpBGE means, was Uchronia project, Blender game engine. That's what UpBGE means. UpBGE based files, and they're going to here talk about some logic nodes. Introduction, let's go into category 1. They have events and custom events. Yeah, so I don't think they have like much documentation on the logic nodes for now. I don't think so, John. Yeah, see, like they don't have, I think like, if you want to help these guys out and you know how to do documentation, or you feel like you want to give it a shot, reach out to these guys and help if you're like into doing game development and stuff like that. Okay, let's see, do we have yeah, okay, so yeah, if you're out there listening to my voice, and yeah, hit me up in the chat. We're on YouTube, and we're also you could chat with us right now on YouTube, or you could chat with us right now on Twitch. I'll be back on later this afternoon. Look out for us, subscribe so you get a notification when we're on. It's a little bit kind of random, but we mostly try to do something in the morning before lunch, and we try to do something in the afternoon, probably like after probably like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, or sometimes even at 6, right? So we try to be on every day. I haven't been on in like a couple days. I had a lot happening in my personal life, but all that is sorted out, and glory be to Jesus. He helped me out with that, and yeah, Heavenlyform, we're here, and we're trying to get things done, while honoring the Lord. So with that said, I'm going to dive into the old Blender. So let's take a look. Well, you guys seen the new Blender in our previous videos, but this is what the old Blender looks like. I don't know if we showed this that much, but this is what Blender 2.49 looks like, and it has the game engine built in, right? And this presents a lot of problems. We use Linux to develop the game, but we're trying our best to use as much free and open source tools as we can, and because we have experience using closed source and non-open tools and non-freedom tools in the past, as I said, like 3D Studio Max, even Unity, and I think Unity is free to a degree, but it's not really like free as in beer or whatever it says. It's not like it's not like that, but you could get it and you could use it. We've used Unity, we've used even a next good game engine also that we may consider using as Heavenlyform Studios would be Godot. The Godot engine. Let's do Godot. Godot is a really good alternative to the Blender game engine, of course. I think Godot is pretty strong, and it has a really good output of games in it. It's originally strongest point was 2D games, but now they're doing like 3D stuff, and the 3D stuff is amazing. So Godot is awesome. That's another good one to check out, and this is probably the one that I personally like, and I would love to go to before even like touching Unity. I've used Unity professionally, and it's cool. But Godot is really, you could get it on Linux by default, and I think you could do that with Unity. But Unity is more geared towards like Windows and whatever it is, which is great. Godot you can get it on all platforms just like Unity, and it just feels a little freer. But it's great, whichever suits you, that's the one you want to use, whether it be Unreal or whatever it is, or even CryEngine, or there's a Source Engine out there, you can try to get into that and just kind of like make your game kind of like through modding, like Half-Life or something like that, and talk to Valve or whatever it is. So so our game is on Steam, right? And Soul 3000, you can get it on Steam, you can get it on itch.io, so let's check it out. Okay, so so you can get it on itch.io, you can get it on Steam, and check it out. We're early access, it's free to download and free to check out. Give us your feedback, send us an email at info@heavenlyform.com and say, hey, this is what you guys doing a good job, you guys, let's get this happening or whatever it is, and we'll take all that into account. Although we know there's a bunch of stuff that we need to get to you guys, and that's what we're trying to do, right? So there's a lot of things a lot of work that has to happen. So okay, without further ado, I'm gonna jump in here for a little bit of a session of getting that pause menu. So let's open what we have so far. If I open the straight up Soul 3000 game, this is the game here in the old Blender game engine 2.49b. What's going on here is that because we work in a Linux and certain things has changed in the Linux libraries and just libraries in general, on Linux we don't have the game with sound. There's no sound. So what's happening is that because there's no sound on the current Linux, we can't deliver the game with any sound because it's just missing DLLs and stuff like that. And I'm not that smart, to get that side of programming working. Or that skilled, I could say. Not that smart, not that skilled. We haven't released the Linux version of the game as yet because there's a sound issue, and we don't want to release something that feels that broken, right? Although there's not much sound in the game to begin with, and that's something we got to work on and add after we get like the levels completed and the character designs. The song is almost the last layer that we add on everything. But in the Windows version of this old Blender game engine, everything works fine. I think it's just because Linux updated their drivers and stuff like that, so to export it, it doesn't work out. But anyways, without further ado, what I like to do is when I go into the game here, I like to run it in the editor just to see where I'm at, and then I'm gonna add what I need to add. So let's just do that. So this is how the game looks behind the scenes in the old Blender game engine. Okay, so this menu here is what I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on having a menu that while you play, when you hit escape, it goes to a pause menu, and you could choose to exit the game or you could resume the game. Right now it doesn't really do that, so if you hit play, it's going to try to load. And even the loading we got to fix, and there's we got to update the logo, we got to update the images that you see right now. The game is going to probably look a little bit different than this, but within the same vein of having suits and stuff. Okay, so right now it's doing loading. Right, so this is what a game developer has to work with. This is our game as a developer, right? So right now, I have the little green cracked little guy running around in the level, right? And if I press escape, it will just go straight to the main menu, it doesn't go to a pause menu, or if I hit play, it doesn't resume. It actually restarts the entire game, and that's kind of annoying. And the reason why it's like this is because I didn't know how to get it working properly, right? I didn't know how to get that menu to pause and all those things that you see on games that that you like, that you feel like should just be in a stand game is really difficult to do, right? And that's why games take so long, like many years to complete and all that sort of stuff. We're only a few months in. We're actually like 3 months in the game. We've been working on games in general for a long time, but this is the first time that we've actually tried to have a full release of something that we've been working on, right? Thus the old game engine, because we haven't been upgrading this particular game. This was a very old game that we just kind of retrofitted with newer graphics and stuff like that. Okay, so here am I playing the game. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's got to fix. Some textures got to fix. You know, just the general look of the levels got to fix a little bit, but we keep pushing in there, right? I don't want to sit like tweaking one thing. You know, I want to get the whole thing finished and then go back and just do like really polishing before we have the final release. So I'm trying to speed through as just a single person, along with my brother who's also a single programmer, and I'm a single animator and art design guy, trying to get this story told, and you know, and fun, right? The game's supposed to be fun, right? I like to do this. So I'm just playing around. Look at that. That's interesting, right? Okay, so enough playing around. So let's exit. So let's get to making that pause menu that I was talking about. So I realized I actually got to have a pause menu. So with that said, so we have an end game. We have a game intro, which is this. We have a game menu, which is this thing, right? And we have game start. What is that? Okay, so that's a loading. Game start loading. This should actually be called game loading. Let's see the loading screen, and then we have a separate loading screen. Game start. Okay, so game start. I put game loading. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna save. Okay. Right, so we have a game loading, game menu, game intro, right? That's for title intro, that's for logos, game end when you die. So it's very simple. It's not like really, we don't have like mega complex things. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna duplicate the game menu. And this is how you do this in the old engine, right? So let's go here. Alright, and I think I wanna do a full copy. Right? I'm gonna call this game pause. Right. Okay, so this takes some thinking, right? So I'm just gonna jump in there. And I mightn't really say much, so if you have any questions, just go right ahead and just talk, you know, ask me right there in the thing. In the chat. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is the pause, game pause. Oh, this is game menu. Let's go into game pause. It's a full copy. I'm just gonna actually get rid of that. Okay, let's see what. Oh, before we do that, let's see what. Okay. Show me mouse. What does this have on it? Okay, so I need something to put the show me mouse on, so I'm gonna use this guy. Show mouse. I'm just gonna double check this to see show mouse. Oh, they added twice. Oh, my bad. When the menu comes up, you want to see your mouse. Show mouse. Okay. So technically I can get rid of this guy. Reselect him. Okay. So when this menu pops up, it's going to show the mouse. So I want to do several things. So this guy here should be a resume and not play. So let's go to the top view. Let's just go ahead and bring the cursor to the selection, and let's just add a text, right? And let's select the text. Call this resume. Okay, so in here, because this is a resume now, let's see what we have for the text. I want it centered. So what's the center of this? Center of this is like smack that right in here. Okay. What do we have for materials on this? The white material. Text 001. Okay. So the old game engine is really archaic, right? But that's what we have so far. So I'm going to select that material. There we go. I'm going to get rid of the... Let's check the play and see what the play has on it, right? Okay, there's no collision, nothing like that. Just get rid of that. It's just a text, right? We don't want no collision. Okay, what's the name of this thing here? Okay, so this is doing a bunch of stuff, so let's take a look. Okay. Font. I'll call this play, and call this resume. I'm just gonna make it as wide as it needs to be. Okay. Yep. Bring these edges up a smidgen. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna parent this text to this. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay, so that's what's going on. Is it 10 frames? Yep, 10 frames. Okay. So this is resume. This is game pause, save. So make sure that we're not like actually screwing things up. I'm hoping that we haven't. I'm gonna go into the game menu, and yep, everything looks fine. We did do a full copy, right? So let's go back to the game pause. Okay, so we got this. So we got resume. And this should actually be main menu, but we're gonna take it a step at a time. Options grayed out. We don't have anything for that as yet. I'm gonna take it a step at a time. Okay, so resume. So let's see what this is doing. Okay, so what I want to do is to when I do resume, it wants to unpause unpause the game. And it wants to remove this menu. Okay, so when this menu calls up and I press resume, what resume is doing is to resume scene, right? And the scene I want to resume. So I have to do this per level. That's okay. We just test level 1 for now and we'll figure out how to do the rest. I mean, level 1. Okay. So when we press this, right, mouse button tap, mouse over is gonna do a animation, right? It's gonna grow, right? And then when we press what is this doing? This is hiding mouse. So I'm gonna resume. It says start, call it resume. Alright. Okay, let's see what this is doing. IPO 5. Oh, so this reverses the when I put a mouse over and all that sort of stuff. So that works. So these are animations of the button, right? This is a button animation. When you put a mouse over, it gets big. When you pull a mouse over, it gets small again. When I press that, it's going to resume level 1, right? And it's also going to hide the mouse, right? And it should actually get rid of the overlay. It should get rid of resume pause scene. So that's what it should do also. So let's go add. Let's just move this up. Alright. So it's going to resume level 1. Actually, let's move this back. So let's see. So resume. Once resume happens, it's gonna do this hide mode. But once resume happens, we also wanna do something else. Let's move this down. Okay. So when resume happens, we want to get rid of this overlay, right? So let's see. Scene. Remove scene. And remove scene would be this scene, game underscore pause. Right? And that's gonna happen when resume happens. So we're gonna do an and. Let's see, remove overlay. to the one source is all readable. Remove overlay, game pause. So once we press this, once resume is resumed, then it will hide the mouse, right? And it will resume and it will remove the game pause overlay, right? Yep. Let's save this. Okay, so we have to deal with, in level 1, we have to actually deal with when we actually hit escape, what happens. So in level 1, let's go into level 1 and see what is activating the escape thing. Okay, so this is it right here, right? What is this called? Menu sys. That's what I'm calling this, menu system. So when you hit escape, suspend scene level 1, and it brings up game menu, right? But I don't want to do that. I want to do overlay scene, add overlay scene. So when you hit, yeah, so when you hit escape, it's gonna pause this, right? It's gonna pause it, level 1, and then the overlay scene. What's gonna happen? Game menu is gonna do game pause. It's gonna bring up game pause when you hit escape. So when you hit escape, game pause comes up. It pauses it. So that game pause comes up. Now let's see game pause again. Let's add an effect. You know what, let's not add an effect. Let's just save and test it out. Alright, let's do this. So let's just do it right here. Let's go P, right? Just test it out. So you're running, press escape. Yep, it brings it up. But I don't see my I don't see my play. Okay, so something's going on there. Okay. Okay, so I may have to quit. Yeah, I'm running into an issue here. Yeah, so you see, there's some of the stuff that we deal with in game development where things like this happen. Right, so I may need to kill the system to actually get it back. So this is dealing with the old Blender game engine. This kind of stuff happens all the time. And you see how it doesn't want to kill, so I actually have to kill the thing. Okay, let's bring it back again. File. Let's take a look at it. See what happened. Okay. Okay, so let's go back into the pause menu. See what happened. Okay, so if you're like on 0, why isn't resume showing? Okay, resume is not showing because it's still a text object, that's why. I just remember that. So unconverted to mesh. There you go, guys. My bad. Because the game engine is not going to show text objects. Okay, let's see. overlay scene. Okay, let's go back into the main game. Level 1. Let's go into this. Add overlay scene. So I'm gonna continue working on this. You know, I'm getting some weird things there where since OBS Studio is like disconnecting and reconnecting, it's kind of weird. But hey, let's see. Let's continue. Let's go. Okay, so I fixed that's showing that. What I want to do, I think I want to add. Let's see if we have an always here. Let's go back on this guy. Show mouse, right? So when you come in, the mouse is going to be shown. Right, and it's going to play that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another always here. I'm going to add an effect, right? An effect I want to do 2D filter. And what I want to do is a blur. The blur passes, let's go 3. And let's see if it will blur the background. Let's see what other filter we have here. 2D filter, blur. Let's add another one. 2D filter. And let's try to darken it. So what will do that? Remove filter, disable filter, custom filter, sepia gray, dilation, sharpen, blur, invert grayscale, invert sepia grayscale, motion blur. Let's just leave it like this for now. Let's see what we get. So this is part of game development, right? It's kind of like you almost have to, like, in order to do stuff like this, you almost have to break things to get it, which is scary, right? Just hit play on that and check it out. Okay, so the game is working fine. Not too much has broken as yet. So let's press escape. Okay, so you see it blurred the thing here, but what it's also doing is blurring the menu. So what I want to do on this here, I want to put the blur on this and not on the menu. So it has resume, it has exit. Let's hit resume. So resuming, but it's not wiping. It's not wiping the overlay. So let's hit escape again. Let's hit exit. So it wasn't able to. So there's some logic stuff happening that I gotta fix. So let's see. When I press escape, what I want to do is for here to be blurred, right? So when I hit escape, I want it to show the overlay of this, but I don't want the overlay to have a blur on it. So let's go back, pause. Let's remove the 2D filter overlay. Now let's really think about this. So this, I always want to show mouse all the time. When I press this, what I want to do, I want to resume level 1, right, which is what is happening. I also want to hide mouse. And I also want to remove the overlay. Set scene. So it's not removing the scene. So let's see if we could try something else. Let's try set scene. Let's go level 1. See what that does. And let's go back. You see now it's telling me that, oh, look, you have some kind of dependency thing here. So I'm resuming scene, set scene. So if I remove scene, game pause. It's just a logic thing. I mean, some people watching me right now will be like, "Hey, dude, you just have to do this and that, and you're good to go." Okay, I don't know why there's a still. Okay, fix that. Okay, let's go back to the main level. Okay, model, scene, level 1. Okay, so when I hit escape, I want several things to happen. What I should do, let me add. So when I hit escape, it also you should blur the scene. Alright, so this is gonna add this to the, so now we hit escape, it's gonna do the 2D filter. Does escape show mouse also? Let's see what we have here. Let's go back to the pause menu. Show mouse. I think escape should always show mouse, not just jumping into show mouse. Escape should show mouse. So let's get rid of this. Let's go to escape, game menu, go to level 1. This escape. Also, what we want to do with escape is to, and here's escape, add. It should be a Python, should be show mouse. Now I have scripts called show mouse and hide mouse, so that's what this is doing. When we hit escape, it should show mouse. And it should do these other things too. And then if we go back to game menu, pause, right? It should mouse, but when you press this, it should hide mouse. And it should, let's see this. So resume is gonna hide the mouse, and it's also gonna remove game pause, and what it should do is a 2D filter. It should remove filter. Let's see what that does. If we pass 3, whatever. This is a hide mouse script, right? Okay, and it's gonna pause. Gonna remove the pause. Let's see if this works. This mightn't really work like that, but let's see. So these things is very tricky in here. Let's go back to the model and let's go back to level 1. All this for the sake of making sure that the game feels proper for some people, and this is all going to be replaced with a properly engineered system. So okay, so we have this going good so far. I don't have anything weird happening. So if I escape, ooh, so you see this is not this is still receiving the blur. So I don't know if we could actually do that. We might have to try something else other than the blur. If I hit resume, okay, so it's resuming, but it's keeping the overlay up there. If I hit escape, it shows mouse again, and that's what you want. Escape shows mouse. Let's hit exit. So pass number, let's do 0. Let's see what this does. I don't know what a pass number, I wonder if it's how blurry it is, but I don't know. Nope, it's just which pass it's on. Okay. Let's see what it says. Set motion blur value. That's what the pass number is? Okay, so with that said, we don't have to get all crazy with it. What I could actually do is this. I could get rid of this. Just say escape. Let's get rid of the 2D filter. Right, this doesn't really go to anything. So when you hit escape, it just brings up this menu. And I could actually add like I could try to add like a different background to this, right? So I'm actually gonna grab a background from the main menu. And try to link it. Link object. Click link. Link to scene. I'm gonna link it to the pause menu. Okay, let's go into the pause menu. I'm actually gonna make this separate. I just want the geometry, so I'm gonna make this unique. Make links. Okay. Make single user object and object and data. All this overlay. Now I'm gonna get yeah, so this has a show mouse in it, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go here to the materials and just add like a different kind of material on there. Actually, this does kind of lend to being slightly thing, but whatever. Let's go. Go to the database. There's so much materials in here. I guess we could choose any one almost. See if you have anything like a black. Nothing called black. Blank frame. Let's see what that is. Add new. I'll call this black. Black transparent. I'm gonna drop to 0.5, and I'm gonna put on a Z-trans. So when it comes in, this is gonna be overlaid on top. So at least, you know, there's a distinction between the. Let's just make sure we haven't screwed anything up. So if I go back into the main menu, that's fine. Pause menu. Okay. So let's. Okay. Okay. So Blender quit. It's part of the having the old version. Let's go back in and see if we have it. Okay. Did save. Let's come here. Let's make sure all this is set. Yep. Okay, let's go back into level 1. Let's test it out. Okay. Okay, so it brings us up. Ooh, what's going on here? Okay, all of a sudden these are not working. Let's exit out of that. Okay, let's see what's happening. Game menu. Pause. Let's make sure this has no weird things in here in the collision overlay. Maybe it might help if we bring this all the way down. Oh, well, see, look at this. All of a sudden, these are not what do you call it? Yeah, these are not all together. So what we want to do, we want to merge these back. I don't know why it did that. It's exploded everything. And sometimes, you know, it does that, you know, which is, you know, one of the things we don't like. It just exploded everything. So I'm just gonna Control P, make parent. Go to the exit. Control P, make parent. Yep. And what I'm gonna do, let's just take a look at this. Yeah, this is really odd stuff, man. This is the stuff that drives me crazy with this thing. Okay, let's add that to that. Parent, make parent. Add that to this. Make parent. Add this to this. Make parent. Just make sure this has no animation on it. Okay, so this has no animation, but for some reason it's scaled, right? So that sucks. Let's bring it back up. Just gonna go A, scale on rotation. Okay, seems like we're back on track with that. Hopefully it hasn't broken anything else. It's broken things before in the past on me. Because as I said, this is the old version, so there's some bugs going on. Okay, it's up to 10. Okay, let's go back to model. Let's go into level 1. And let's just see if anything else is broken. Hopefully not. Okay, it looks like everything is fine. Okay, look like everything is fine. Let's test it out again. We're running around shooting. Everything seems fine. Let's just make sure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's test out that menu. So okay, so this is resume, right? Exit. Resume. You see resume doesn't clear the screen. I don't know why. I'll have to look into that. Let's exit again. Exit should actually be main menu. So let's at least do that one. So we're gonna go back to pause. Alright. Exit doesn't quit game. Exit actually goes back. To scene. We don't want to restart the scene. What we want to do is to set scene, and the set scene wants to be that menu, game menu. Alright, so I'm just actually gonna go into top this view here and get rid of this exit. But before we did that, let's select this and let's select this and let's add a cursor to selection. Let's just get rid of exit. And let's add some text. Pull it on. Or you could call it start menu. This is just some quality of life things I'm doing. It's not like what the final game menu or system is even gonna be like. So this is just for the people that are doing the demos. You know, I'm primarily an artist. I'm not a programmer, and you know, we're gonna have a much more updated menu system once everything is said and done. A lot more modern, a lot more what is to be expected. Let's just put this over here. And let's just add some, let's just convert this to mesh. Let's come here, add, oh, don't want to add new, add from database, and it's text we want. If I come into here, you want to make sure that there's no collision, and let's grab this, let's expand sphere X, put it like so. Let's take this guy and let's see, that's not about that. Select that guy, then select this guy, and let's just parent, hit parent. And this is not exit, you want to call this start menu. So this technically should take us back to the start menu. So if you click on the start menu, If you click on this, this should remove all this. Let's try something different. So the left mouse button tap does all this rather than waiting for all that. Let's just see if it'll let's remove this. Let's remove that. Resume will hide mouse. But if we click on it, let's click on it and remove. Resume scene 1, but we want to remove this. Let's see if that works. Maybe it doesn't like all that rigmarole. Okay, let's check it out. It's a save. One thing you learn when you're doing this kind of stuff is to save and even save backups, multiple backups to multiple locations. Okay, running around, nothing seems broken, everything seems fine. Alright, so now if we all of a sudden hit escape, the menu should come in, right? Start menu, resume, oh, that worked. We hit resume. Now when we hit resume it should hide mouse, but our mouse is still here. So let's go back. Let's go to start menu, yep. And then exit, yep. So that's kind of working. So I just wanted something a little more direct. When we hit resume, it should show. We should show mouse or hide mouse rather. So let's go back. Let's go back to the pause menu. Okay, let's see what's going on. So when we click on that, it removes the pause menu. Right. Yeah, it's not hiding mouse in time. When we hit that, it's removing. Let's add a NAND and see what happens. So it's being killed somewhere here, so let's do this. Let's see. Oh, there you go. That works. Oh, lovely. And it fires off a bullet. It's all good. That's fine. Start menu. This is awesome. Let's play. If you, so this should be new game. It should be exit. This is awesome. So what I'm gonna do is that in this Let's go into the game menu. Let's duplicate this guy. Grab Z. Put him back us a smidgen. Pull that background color. And let's kill this guy. Too many show mouse. But we already have a show mouse in here. Let's go here. And let's make sure that this is like a black database. And remember the black frame is just a black frame. No transparency on that. Okay, let's go back into level 1. Save. I think we got it, guys. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna save as. I'm gonna save a backup copy. Hey, we figured it out. So let's go save. Go save as. Let's see it back to our original copy. Alright, so this is cool, you know. Now we can go ahead and just do this for the rest of the levels. Let's see. So this is the model. Let's go back to the game output. Right, and this is fine for now. Let's go into the model. Let's do game pause. Yep. And let's go back to level 1. And let's go back to level 1. Put the game output. Okay. And what we want is intro. Let's see what we got. Okay, so play, right? Oh, we could exit. Let's play. So it's loading. Okay, so it's loading. Okay, here we are. We're running around. If you want to pause the game, it's paused. With a little bit of overlay. You could resume. You could go to the start menu, and of course we don't have options for now. Now if I hit escape, if I hit escape, nothing happens, right? So escape could also mean resume here also in this instance. So let's resume. Let's see. So this just paused. That's awesome. Resume. Yeah, let's go. I just want to thank my brother Peter, with all this programming and walking me through like how to think about logic, and so I want to thank Jesus also, for giving everybody like skills to enjoy this earth, right, and to love one another. And our prayers go out to people who are involved in different wars around the world. And I pray that there be no one would use it for their advantage, use human suffering for their advantages. So, this game, is gonna show some of that, in the story. How people are like deceived, Whoa, what's that? Oh, didn't make it in time. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Let's play it one more time and test out our menu. So there's a lot of things that needs polishing, but you know, this is a good start. Play, it'll start over. Yep. Ooh, run into an error there. Okay, that's interesting. This is where you might want that escape also to be like a resume. Okay. Huh! And she came up with some kind of like error here. Anyhow, yeah, we call that a game, guys. You know. So yeah, there's some tweaking, but you know we got it working to a degree. You know, as I said, I'm just the artist guy, just trying to make some quality of life. People who are testing out our demo. It's still a work in progress, and by the time we have the final version out, everything is going to be all polished. The menu system is going to look all fancy with animations, and you know, sky's the limit once we have time and you guys, you know, give us some money to buy this stuff. So take it easy. Oh, look at that, you know, and come to even more. Wow, we had a timeout. That's interesting. Anyway, guys, this is Nick. Thanks for hanging out with me, going through some of the little nitty gritty of the game demo here, and yeah, thanks again. Hope you guys have a good one. God bless. You know, and you know, wherever you are, you know, I pray that Jesus walks with you and makes a way for you. If you're in the middle of war, I pray that there'll be peace, and your family will be safe, and you'll be safe. And of course, you know, you might be even listening to this, but you know, that's my prayers go out to those people out there and around the world. And I'll see you guys later. Be sure, you know, we'll be back probably a little bit later this afternoon, do some art, some actual art rather than this kind of like maintenance type things. And you know, just wanted you to get to know more about what we're doing here. So stay strong and have a good one, and thanks for tuning in. Peace.